Ready? Okay, we will call the January 7th Planning Commission meeting to order and stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. We have almost a new roll to call tonight.
Yeah, we do.
Go ahead, Dina.
Mr. Townsend.
Here.
Mr. Poole.
Here.
Mr. Bibb.
Here.
Mr. Allen.
Here.
Ms. Richards. Here. Mr. Tackett.
Here.
Mr. Gregg.
Here.
Mr. Thomas.
Here.
Ms. Boyd. Eight present, one absent. We do have a quorum.
Okay, before we approve the minutes from last month, we had 4 members that went off of the board: Wanda Mason, Mike Hollingsworth, Alan Powell, and Ray Carroll Woodard. And I wanted to thank them for several years. All of them been on for several years on the board, and for what they've done. And I want to welcome all the new members coming in. And I think you had something.
Yes, Ms. Woodard had asked me to give her farewell to the Planning Commission. She wanted to know that she had enjoyed her time on the Planning Commission and has the highest level of respect for each of you, and she wishes the Planning Commission continued success conducting the business of the city as we move forward.
Okay.
Thank you. And let the record show Ms. Boyd is now in attendance.
All right, we've got a full house tonight. Is there a motion to approve the minutes from November the 5th?
So moved.
I heard 2 motions. We'll take one as a second.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
And of course, we did not have a December meeting. Under new business tonight, our first order or item coming in is to elect a secretary. Is there, Wanda Mason was our former secretary. so,
Correct.
Is there a motion to nominate somebody as secretary?
Let me just say, first and foremost, the secretary is kind of, with the staff, it's more of a ceremonial position. Mr. Allen obviously can't, and Mr. Poole can't. So I would like for one of my 2 other, because Mr. Gregg's an alderman, to be our secretary if at all possible. We'll take real good care of you, I promise.
You might tell them the extent of their duties.
The extent of your duties are basically to sign the minutes after and review the minutes and make sure that we have everything in there. We do all the preparation and everything. And then several years back, the board voted to even have the community development director sign all subdivision plats, so you don't even have to do that.
Okay. With that said, is there a motion to
Ms.
nominate?
Boyd, would you like to do that?
I think I can. I believe I
I would make a motion that Ms. Boyd have that position.
Okay, do we have a second?
I second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. We need to call the roll on that.
Yes.
Mr. Townsend.
Yes.
Mr. Poole.
Yes.
Mr. Bibb.
Yes.
Ms. Richards. Yes. Mr. Tackett.
Yes.
Mr. Gregg.
Yes.
Mr. Thomas. Yes. Ms. Boyd.
Yes.
Mr. Allen.
Yes.
Ms. Boyd is elected 9-0.
Okay, and one procedural thing for the new folks coming in. Usually, I will call for a motion to discuss the different items that come up. And if we get a motion and a second, we don't have to have a vote on that, and we discuss. And then if there's a motion to approve, we go with that. That's sort of the way things are done.
Yes.
You know what's going on. Item number 4.2 is the Bellhaven subdivision performance surety. Is there a motion to put this on the floor for discussion?
So moved.
I heard,
Second.
okay, we got a motion and a second. We are ready to go on this day.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Clay Jones has submitted a bond in the amount of $333,191 for the unfinished work in the Bellhaven subdivision that's right off of South Main. Once he gets this, we can, and it goes to the board for acceptance, we will record his previously approved plat. So we'll be recording that towards the end of the third week. Well, you know, we've reviewed the bond and made sure that it will cover the work, and of course, we recommend approval.
Okay, are there any questions or discussion? We have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
I second that.
Okay. We are ready to vote.
Ms. Richards? Aye. Ms. Boyd?
Yes.
Mr. Poole?
Yes.
Mr. Townsend?
Yes.
Mr. Tackett? Yes. Mr. Gray?
Yes.
Mr. Beal?
Yes.
Mr. Thomas?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes.
Passes 9-0.
And this also goes before the mayor and alderman. We don't actually do the approval, we do a recommendation to
Correct.
approve.
That is correct. Thank you.
Item 4.3, the Flats at Moreland subdivision performance surety. Is there a motion to put this on the floor for discussion?
So moved.
Is there a second? I think I heard it a couple of places. Okay, Dave.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is a performance bond for the Flats at Moreland subdivision. It is a two-lot subdivision. The bigger portion of this subdivision, the lot itself, will be the new Flats at Moreland multi-residential off of the new road that is in this subdivision, Amelia Moore Drive. The commission has already previously approved that site plan. This bond will allow us to get that recorded after approval by the Board of Mayor and Aldermen, and they can proceed with the transfer of the property and begin construction of those 76 residential units.
Okay.
And of course, staff recommends approval.
Are there questions or discussion? I don't hear any. Is there a motion for approval?
So moved.
Okay, we have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, motion and a second. We're ready to vote.
Ms. Boyd?
Yes.
Mr. Thomas?
Yes.
Mr. Gray?
Yes.
Mr. Tackett?
Yes.
Ms. Richards? Yes. Mr. Beal?
Yes.
Mr. Poole?
Yes.
Mr. Townsend?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes.
Passes 9-0.
Item 4.4 is the Southside subdivision plat. I think there's one of those in your packet that you have. Is there a motion to put this on the floor for discussion?
So moved.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. Ready to go.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is the plat that was associated with the previously approved rezoning to R7. Mr. Moore has broken this out into 5 lots, 6 lots actually. I don't foresee him doing anything on this larger lot down here on the bottom at the present time. But we're going to approve these lots right here. There was a road that was abandoned as well here, Harp Lane, that allowed him to reconfigure his lots. There will be either a bond established and for a sidewalk on the front of this, or he will build the sidewalk before we record the plat. But this is like any other approval of the subdivision plat. We won't record until bonding has been established and brought forward or the work has been completed, which either or is allowed by our subdivision regulations.
Okay. Questions and discussions on this plat? Is there a motion for approval then? We have a motion?
I have a question. You said the Harp Lane was an abandoned road?
There was an unfinished, there was a right-of-way here for Harp Lane associated with a subdivision plat that was recorded, I want to say, in 1945 or earlier. And so it belonged to the city. We brought that right-of-way abandonment in front of you guys along with the rezoning. And so the city abandoned the right-of-way here and deeded it over to Mr. Moore so he could reconfigure these lots. So there is an existing Harp Lane, Ms. Boyd, that has got houses built on it and goes back behind that Helen Cotton warehouse.
Did that roadway extend past these lots we're looking at right here?
Yes, it extended down to right about here in this area. Maybe to that property line. If I remember correctly, it was a 25-foot right-of-way.
So with this plat, that'll be abandoned too, right?
Yes, we've already deeded the property over, and he's reestablished the layout of, there was a previous lot layout that he replatted here.
Okay. All right, we do have a motion already. Is there any more discussion before a second? Is there a second?
Second.
We do have a second. We're ready to vote.
Mr. Richards? Ms. Richards, I'm Todd's not here. Yeah, Todd's not here. Ms. Richards?
Good.
Yes. Ms. Boyd?
Yes.
Mr. Poole?
Yes.
Mr. Townsend?
Yes.
Mr. Tackett?
Yes.
Mr. Gray?
Yes.
Mr. Bibb?
Yes.
Mr. Thomas?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes.
Passes 9-0.
All right, item 4.5 is the James C. McReynolds plat. Is there a motion to put this on the floor for discussion?
So moved.
We have a motion, a second? And a second. All right.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is the James C. McReynolds plat. This is, to give you some reference, this is 49 Fifth Avenue here. This is where the pawn shop is. There is this is where Larry's used to be. There's a tire establishment there now. This plat has existing utilities, existing roadway. There will be no bond. As a matter of fact, they're in the process of getting ready to sell these or transfer these, and we will record this plat tomorrow if y'all approve it, because there is no bonding requirement and all infrastructure is complete, just the way we like them.
Okay. Are there any questions or discussion on this, Bob?
Question, Dave. Were these any of these existing lot lines prior to this plat?
No, sir, they were not.
Is that all one?
It was
lot?
all one parcel, yes, sir.
Two separate businesses on the same parcel?
Yes, sir, at that time, back
Grandfather then?
many moons ago, that was allowed. You know, I take that back. I'm thinking you're correct, Bob. There was a line maybe between the two here. There was a separation.
Mr. Chandler's here, he's not there.
There was no line, it's all one piece.
The surveyor has spoken.
The line on the middle track, is that, the light spot, is that an existing building?
That is an existing building. There, you know, and keep in mind, this is a two-dimensional orthograph, but the line misses the building. There is a temporary shed structure here that would be on this one, but the line does miss the building. And it is within the it's inside this building envelope, correct? It's not?
The tire shop is up on the very extreme north portion, and the next lot is the pawn shop. I'm not sure exactly what that white structure is right there.
That's the pawn shop.
No,
The pawn shop
no, that is that little market.
No, that's this little market right here.
I think you know.
I think something's messed up with the
Something's not
area.
right about that.
Okay,
There's the tire shop, there's the pawn shop, and then these are vacant.
okay.
I'm not sure exactly,
The aerial could be off.
what that is. That building's there like it's supposed to be, unless that's an old aerial, there used to be a building there, so.
Yeah, there may have been, yeah, there is, it's an old aerial, because here's the pawn shop right here.
Yeah, it almost looks like everything's shifted.
Yes.
It just needs to be
Yeah.
out there.
You're correct, and we do the best we can with what we've got to work with sometimes.
Yeah. There's no encroachments, if that's your concern.
We'll strive to do better.
Okay, so that's just an open lot right now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, any other questions? Is there a motion on this?
Move to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. We are ready to vote.
Ms. Boyd,
Yes.
Mr. Thomas,
Yes.
Mr. Gregg,
Yes.
Mr. Tackett,
Yes.
Ms. Richards. Yes. Mr. Bill,
Yes.
Mr. Poole,
Yes.
Mr. Townsend,
Yes.
Mr. Allen,
Yes.
passes 9-0.
Okay, this board has two other boards that sort of offshoot from it. One is the Historical Commission, and the other one is the Board of Zoning Appeals. I look over at Buzz, he's the chairman of that. And we usually do a review of things that are coming up on that agenda every month. So that's item 4.6. And Gina, are you going to do that?
Well, yes, she can do that one. And then we'll back up, because I want to cover December's meetings, BZA and BMA.
Mr. and Ms. Martin have purchased the funeral home, which is located at 310 21st Avenue West. And this funeral home has been here for years and years and years. I don't know exactly when it started. But anyway, in residential, a funeral home is a conditional use. So because it's been there so long, the zoning book was done after it started. So I have asked them, because they wanted me to write a letter that they were in compliance, and I couldn't do it until they go to the Board of Zoning Appeals and got a conditional use permit. So they are going to the board next week to ask them for a conditional use permit for the funeral home. And that's the only thing that's on the agenda for Tuesday night.
And the leading factor for them to want this documentation is a requirement of the funeral home board
Yeah.
at the state level.
Tennessee Commerce and.
Yeah.
I-
Under the Department of Commerce.
I could not write that letter until they had the conditional use.
So Ms. Head will be submitting that to the BZA on the 12th.
Okay.
Okay.
And at this point, I always ask for,
Well, before we go, I want to
Okay.
review what we missed, didn't get the opportunity to review last month.
okay,
At the BZA last month, we had these three variances that were approved. We just wanted to let you know what they were. Mr. Moore had one on 1811 Woodland Street. He also had another one at East 19th Avenue East, 1809 Woodland Street. And then Mr. Krantz had one on 1601 Rawls Street. Those were all approved by the Board of Zoning Appeals. Because we missed the meeting due to not having enough appointed members, we had 2 bonds that were getting ready to expire, and we went ahead, the staff decided the city's business must go on, and so we went ahead and took those bonds to the Board of Mayor and Aldermen. The first one is an actual maintenance bond for Robmont subdivision, and it was in the amount of $25,000. They lack finishing off of street lights and repair and of some sidewalk and some final grading in some areas. So this would be more than enough to cover anything should it go, should the work not meet. And it'll go from December the 15th until December the 14th of 2021. Then the second one was just a replacement bond for Oakland Farms Phase 3, Section 8. Mr. Berenstein is moving along with that section. This should be the last, this is the second renewal. This should be the last renewal. They look like they're going to probably finish up by the, spring of this year or beginning of summer into spring. And so we went ahead and took that one as well. We reduced it to $107,058. $583. So we went ahead and conducted that business on your behalf because they were existing subdivisions. They were not new.
Okay.
So those bonds were expiring. To my new planning commissioners, Bob probably already knows this. Bonds, performance bonds, are bonds that we take to ensure infrastructure to be completed so that we can go ahead and record the plat and the subdivider can start selling the lots. That's not a requirement. All the infrastructure can be completed, and once all of the infrastructure has been completed and accepted by the departments, we can also record the plat. So performance bonds are that. Maintenance bonds, or when everything's done, we require a maintenance period of 1 year to ensure that the work is good. Should there be sidewalk breakdown, curb breakdown, roadway surfaces breakdown, we have money to make the repairs ourselves if we have to, but we always go to the original subdivider and ask them to repair them. We would rather they take care of the work than us have to go through the execution of a letter of credit or bond. So that, just a little nuance there. So, Mr. Chairman, we have covered everything on our Planning Commission agenda, and we will reconvene February, first Thursday in February. Once again, I would like to take the opportunity to thank each and every one of you for your service to our community. We appreciate it very much.
Okay, is there any other, Gina's raising her
I
hand?
would just like to say thank you to the 4 new members that accepted the offer, or accepted from your alderman and mayor. We have to have 5 people to make a quorum, so we just encourage everybody to come to the meeting. Please let us know if you cannot attend. That way we know not to expect you, or just let us know, and that way we know. But I do appreciate you all, and I appreciate our more seasoned, as David says, our more seasoned, and if you have any questions, just please reach out.
That was what I was going to say. As new commissioners, as you review this material, it can be daunting, it can be boring, it can be overwhelming. Feel free to give us a call. We'll be glad to meet with you and talk to you about every situation that's in the book. Yes, Mr. Bibb?
If you have a 5-member quorum, what does it take to pass? Does it take
It takes
all
4.
5, or does it take a majority of?
it takes 4, does it not, Gina?
If you
Thank-
have 5, it takes a majority.
Just, it only takes 3, just a simple majority on all of them. I'll make sure,
Majority of present.
Right,
majority of present. I think that's called out in the bylaws as well.
I'm pretty sure.
And sometime during the year, the staff will set up time for us to train.
Oh, you might want to mention what you are.
Yes. Thank you, Gina. And Mr. Allen is right, we will set up training for this commission and for the BZA. I am in the process of discussing with the department heads to come in and do presentations for the Planning Commission and the BZA. I know that the new ones may not know the nuances with the utilities, the requirements. Water and sewer very specifically, it's a very costly two utilities to install. They control a lot of the stuff that goes in, whether we have water or sewer capacity. Right now, sewer capacity is what controls whether we issue building permits, and in some instances, whether we bring plats to the Planning Commission. But we will be setting up training. Hopefully, we can wait until everybody has their vaccine in both shots so that we can break bread together as we normally do and have training.
They bring food every once in a while.
We try to bring food every time. It seems to be the only way we can get some of them here. Next, we might try to be a Brew Works sometime. Maybe it'd be a bigger turnout, but we'll see.
All right. Is there anything else? Well, it's good to have all the new members. I wanted to thank the city for moving on with the old Carter Lumber Company site there. It's looking better.
Well, thank you. We apply pressure, and Mr. Burge came to the realization that we weren't kidding and we were going to do it. It was going to cost him a whole lot more money if we did it. So he started moving forward with that. And so it's getting better, but there's still work to be done.
Well, they're working on it.
Yep, they're making progress, so that's a good thing.
Okay, anything else?
One quick question.
Tell me.
I was on South Main the other day, and I passed by Tracy Langsford, and at one time, did we have plans for a townhouse going up? What happened to that?
Well, all we did there, in Mr. Geesley's old property, we rezoned it to MRO. They have never submitted a site plan or anything like that. And one of the reasons that they hadn't is because that there wasn't adequate sewer capacity for the proposed 24, 26 units that could go there. See, and we're still working with our developers. Developers like to do what they know, and so a lot of them forget, they know that the MR stands for multi-residential, and they forget that the O stands for office and some light commercial. And so our MRO tells us how many residential units you can do. It also tells you the maximum coverage of all buildings. So you can, if you choose to do so, you can stack and pack your residential units and cover less area and still have room available to do commercial buildings. So we do not dictate, all we dictate is the maximum number of building coverages. So, if they wanted to put all 26 and 4 stories and put fire suppression on it and then come back and build some professional offices or something along that line, hair salons, barber shops, meet and threes, things that are allowed in that area, they can do so. But I'm not getting really good response for that yet, but hopefully someday we will.
Thank you.
All right.
Good
Anything-
memory, Mr. Townsend.
Okay, if there's nothing else, we will stand adjourned till February.
Thank you again.